Hello, everybody. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Laura Renenkowski. I'm an international life and relationship coach, and I know a lot about astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I know a lot about astrology. That's why I give these presentations about astrology. And today we're going to be talking about Jupiter in Pisces. And Jupiter in Pisces. I mean, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces myself. So I'm really feeling this this energy of Jupiter and Pisces in a very strong way, and it's amazing. It's amazing energy, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of information with you today, and I really hope that you embrace this amazing magical energy of Jupiter and Pisces, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. All right. So Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is one of the luckiest planets in astrology. And it made its way into the dreamy sign of Pisces on the 13th of May. And in my case, I literally felt that transition right away. I felt it. I don't think I've ever felt like a planet, a sign in a planet as strongly as I felt Jupiter in Pisces this time. So this hasn't happened since 2011. So it's something to get really excited about. It's not something that happens all the time. So it's being described as, one of the most amazing astrological events by astrologers. So so just to give you an idea of the type of energy that Jupiter in Pisces has, it's like if you combine a guardian angel, a fairy godmother, and like a sunny, peace-loving, music festival, right? So so it's very nice, magical, otherworldly energy. And because of Jupiter in Pisces, it's also going to be a juicy, magical summer of love. So that's really good news too, right? That's really good news for love and relationships. And I'm a life and relationship coach as well. So this is really good for love and relationships, so people can look forward to that. So Jupiter in Pisces is an extremely harmonious transit that should feel exciting, eye-opening, and illuminating for all of us. It's related to creativity, spirituality, creative expression, and intuition, and optimism. Like it's really a time to be really like optimistic. And it's also about healing and compassion. And for those who help and serve, and romance is going to make a comeback, during Jupiter in Pisces. So so if you've been single for a while, this is your moment. This is your moment to to meet somebody, and find a new partner. So so Jupiter is in Pisces until the 28th of July of 2021. And then in the next 2.5 months, so we're going to get our first taste of this transit. And then it re-enters Pisces on December 29th, 2021. And it stays in Pisces until May the 10th, 2022. And it's again back in Pisces from October 28th, 2022 until the 20th of December, 2022. So there's all these, different transitions. But I mean, the Jupiter and Pisces transition that we're in now is until the 28th of July. So take advantage of this time. So Jupiter and Neptune are in Pisces right now. So both of them. So that means that there is magic everywhere. So many people look forward to Jupiter and Pisces for many reasons. Jupiter is at home in Pisces. So it feels at home, in this sign. And Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and by Neptune. So it's incredibly powerful, for both of these planets to be in Pisces right now. So it's all about, it's all about energy that's wise, spiritual, and like big picture energy. So the last couple of years when Jupiter shared signs with Pluto and Saturn have not been easy. So now that Jupiter moves into Pisces, our sense of faith and optimism will finally be restored. So in many ways, it feels like a new beginning for us, with Jupiter and Pisces, right? And also because of everything that's been happening in the world, because of Corona and the lockdowns and all of that, you know, we've been feeling, yeah, like we've had like this lockdown energy. So Jupiter in Pisces is about freedom. It's about freedom. It's about exploring like new possibilities and new opportunities, right? And that's definitely the kind of energy that all of us could use right now. So what makes this particular Jupiter in Pisces transit even more special is that Jupiter will be together with Neptune in Pisces, as I mentioned. So that's incredibly powerful. And this is very interesting because both Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces. So to have both rulers in the sign of the rulership is pretty magical. So that makes it like extra powerful. So Jupiter is, you know, larger than life. You know, it's a sense that everything is possible. And it's also an energy that's like very mystical. It's very like mystical, and anything is possible. You know, it's larger than life, you know, in many ways. So really try to tap into that energy of, you know, magic and, you know, larger than life, and see the magic everywhere. You know, magic, I think, is one of the key words here, right? I'm going to say magic a lot, you know, during this presentation. I'm going to say amazing and magical a lot, because that kind of embodies the energy that we're dealing with here. So Jupiter in Pisces is like living on a prayer. So Pisces, and especially Neptune with Pisces, may make you think of angels playing the harp. But Jupiter is expansive, loud, and showy. If Jupiter was a music genre, Jupiter in Pisces would be the arena rock of the 80s. Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer was released in November 1986 when Jupiter was in Pisces. And John Bon Jovi himself has 3 planets in Pisces. And the lyrics of the song are, of course, very Jupiter in Pisces. You know, whoa, I'm not going to sing, but everybody knows the lyrics. You know, whoa, we're halfway there. Living on a prayer, take my hand, we'll make it, I swear, right? So this can kind of be like the anthem of Jupiter and Pisces, you know, living on a prayer. So everybody can, you know, listen to the song, you know, after this presentation, and get inspired to do amazing things in your life. So this is what Jupiter does. It sets trends. It tells what's in the psyche of society in that particular year. And let's not forget that Jupiter is a planet of truth and coherence. Jupiter is a planet of what everyone agrees on. That's why Jupiter rules knowledge, education, and the moral code and the law. And when Jupiter is in Pisces, everyone agrees that no matter what life throws at us, we'll be okay. And I think that that's really important right now, right? Especially with everything, you know, that we've been going through as a collective. You know, no matter what happens, we're going to be okay. And Jupiter in Pisces reminds us of that right now. So Jupiter in Pisces has nothing of Saturn in its DNA. You know, Saturn is all about restrictions. Saturn is about, you know, blocks and restrictions and rules. So Jupiter in Pisces, you know, breaks that mold, you know, and breaks all those rules. So trying to tell someone that the apocalypse is around the corner will not work, because Jupiter in Pisces has a different energy than Jupiter in Capricorn. Asking someone to be socially responsible will not work either. Not because it's not good, you know, not because it's not a good thing, but because Jupiter is no longer, you know, in Capricorn. So with Jupiter in Pisces, what works is painting a positive vision for the future based on faith, compassion, growth, and infinite possibilities. I think that's the key right here, you know. It's painting a positive vision for the future, you know, visualize a positive vision for the future, you know, for yourself and for humanity, for the collective, right? Because it's not only thinking about what you want for yourself. Of course, think about what you want for yourself, but think about like the bigger picture for the world, right? And, you know, and based on faith, compassion, growth, and infinite possibilities, you know, especially the infinite possibilities. You know, many times when we think about the things that we want in our lives, we limit ourselves so much, right? So Jupiter in Pisces, you know, invites us to dream really big and to have really big ambitions. So Jupiter has been in Aquarius since December 2020. And when Jupiter went into Aquarius, it was a big leap forward from Jupiter in Capricorn, you know, which was more about restrictions, and has brought some much needed, you know, like freedom. Being said in Aquarius, Jupiter had a very serious, some say grumpy roommate in Saturn. So Jupiter and Saturn in the same sign is great for manifesting Aquarius topics. And then when Jupiter and Saturn join forces, things get done. And this is great. But what's not that great is that Jupiter's expansive function, can be inhibited as well. And while Jupiter, with the help of Saturn, may get things done in Aquarius, it might not feel as joyful as when Jupiter does not share the sign with Saturn. So this is kind of like a background of what's been happening, before Jupiter went into Pisces. So Jupiter changing signs means that Jupiter is now free of Saturnian influence, which is that restriction influence, right? So now we're more free in different ways. And it's amazing how, like that freedom is being, reflected all over the world, right? Like, restrictions are easing and lockdowns are ending, and, people have more freedom around the world right now. And it's no coincidence that this is happening during Jupiter and Pisces. So it gets as expansive, joyful, optimistic, and hopeful, right? Those are key words for Jupiter in Pisces. So Jupiter in Pisces is at home, which means that it functions at 100%, right? So Jupiter is even more joyful, expansive, and optimistic than it is in any other sign. So Jupiter in Pisces, doesn't get more joyful, expansive, and optimistic than that, right? So it's gonna, when Jupiter goes into Pisces, it will instantly uplift your mood, right? And that's exactly what I felt. When I went into Pisces, I felt it right away. So that's a reason, to celebrate, and even knowing this, if you haven't been feeling well, try to tap into this energy. Try to tap into this energy, because you will feel better right away. And then the downside of this is that we may become too optimistic, right? Because the optimism may turn into wishful thinking and living in la la land as well, right? So in the middle of all of this, Jupiter and Pisces, it's also good to remember to keep your feet on the ground and stay grounded, right? Because Pisces, is not the most grounded of signs, right? So remember to keep your feet on the ground as well. I mean, of course, be optimistic and think really big, and think about the infinite possibilities, but stay grounded as well. So when we do engage with Jupiter's energy, we are much more likely to reach our goals, or at least get closer to it. And that's precisely why Jupiter is considered to be the great benefic in astrology. And when you have a Jupiter transit, it's like, divine luck pours on you, right? So really, tap into that good luck, tap into that good luck. And it's because when you have a growth mindset, when you're optimistic, and when you're actively pursuing opportunities, you are much more likely to make progress in your life, right? So this is a time to make progress in your life. And, Jupiter and Pisces will really help you make progress. It's not that Jupiter, it's not Jupiter that brings abundance and luck to you. It's you embracing the energy of Jupiter. It's you embracing the vibrational frequency that attracts these things into your life. And if there's any transit that can bring divine luck seemingly out of the blue for you, that's Jupiter and Pisces right now. So Pisces is a sign of endless possibilities. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, which encompasses all the other signs. So with all the opportunities, that get their, last chance to materialize before we start again in Aries, right? So that's why it's really powerful as well. So the best thing about having a ruling planet transiting the sign of its rulership is that it makes things happen. So now is a time to make things happen in your life. If you've had like a project that you've been thinking about for a while, if you think about all those things that you have on standby, like I think that everybody has things that they kind of have like on standby, on their things to do list. If you have something like that, get it out and do it now. And there's a sense of flow and progress, and things finally come together and projects materialize. So this is how Jupiter in Pisces affects you based on your ascendant. I mean, this is based on your ascendant, which is your rising sign. And, if you don't know your rising sign, that's okay, because I mean, this will also apply to you, like no matter if you only know like your sun sign, right? Your zodiac sign. So for Aries, Jupiter and Pisces will influence your 12th house. And so that's going to influence magic, isolation, and faraway places. For Taurus, it's going to influence your 11th house of friendship and networks. For Gemini, it's going to influence your 10th house of career and the limelight. For Cancer, it's going to influence your 9th house of foreign travel, learning, teaching, travel, publishing, and law. For Leos, it's going to influence your 8th house of transformation, the occult, joint finances, and other people's money. For Virgo, it's going to influence your 7th house of relationships and contracts. For Libra, it's going to influence your 6th house of work, house routines, and acts of service. For Scorpio, it's going to influence your 5th house of childhood, creativity, play, and romance. For Sagittarius, it's going to influence your 4th house of house and family. For Capricorn, it's going to influence your 3rd house of communication, everyday interactions, learning, and siblings. For Aquarius, it's going to influence your 2nd house of money, finances, and self-worth. And for Pisces, lucky you, it's going to influence your 1st house of your personality, vitality, and zone of genius. And even if you're rather shy, Jupiter and Pisces is your time to shine and put yourself out there. So thank you. That's the end of my presentation. You can contact me for more information or a coaching session at lauracoaching@gmail.com. And my website is laurarenankowski.com. And yeah, I just want to end with believe in magic and embrace the amazing, expansive, full of opportunities energy of Jupiter in Pisces now.
I would say go Pisces.